What's up, everybody? It's Oni, the Demon Slayer here. I was watching Nick Rekieta's live stream. I had to get off of it because I'm having to go back to work here in a minute, and there's a lot of dumbasses in there. If somebody's saying his knee was on the back of George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes, that would have choked him to death. His knee was on the back of his neck and his shoulder blade, not his throat right here. This is how you choke somebody, by pushing on the throat right here, not the back of the neck. George Floyd's head was to the side, like on the concrete, like this, so he could breathe, because even though Chauvin had his knee on his back of his neck and his shoulder blade, it would have been uncomfortable, but it wouldn't have caused him to suffocate like that. Like I said, his knee. Now, if he was laying on his back and Chauvin had his knee in his throat, yeah, that would have straight up killed him pretty quick. Because you leaning your knee on somebody's throat like that would cut the oxygen off like that. Like that. George Floyd died from fentanyl overdose. That's why he couldn't breathe, because opiates like that, especially really strong opiates, cause respiratory failure. It causes where you can't breathe. When you're overdosing, you do get shortness of breath and you get where you can't breathe. That's why people that overdose on opiates, when they go to sleep, they die in their sleep, because that's why they overdose. And when they overdose and they go to sleep, they die. Because they stop breathing. Their heart slows down, their lungs get where they can't breathe, and they die. That's why a lot of people, when they overdose, if you keep them awake, they won't die. Some people will still, because their heart will give out. But a lot of people won't. I used to take an overdose every day on opiates. Overdose does not necessarily mean you'll die. It just means you're taking more than prescribed. That's what an overdose means. Now, there's a fatal, such thing, they call it a fatal overdose. Fatal overdose is when you're about to die from it. Or you took so many you can die. You can take a lot of opiates and not die. Depends on how strong the opiate is. Now, heroin's a strong opiate. Fentanyl's stronger than heroin. It takes less than, I think, a gram. Maybe like even less than half a gram of fentanyl to kill you. That's not much. They've showed it next to a tip of a fingernail. Just a little tiny bit on the tip of your fingernail. They said that's enough fentanyl to kill you. Just a little tiny bit. Just a tiny bit will kill you. And he had 2 or 3 times that in his system? So he was going to die. Even if Chauvin didn't put his knee on George Floyd's neck or his back. His back of his shoulder or his neck. He would have died when they got him to the jail. He would have died in the jail. But I don't think Chauvin should have done what he done. No. He should have, like Brandon Tatum said, he should have played up to the camera and, just handcuffed him, put him in the car, or waited for that, or got an ambulance to get him and take him to the hospital. But cops, they deal with the scum of humanity all the damn time. So anytime someone says they can't breathe, and George Floyd, I don't think ever told him he took drugs. Because if you admit that you've took some drugs and you don't know how much you took, they're supposed to call an ambulance for you. And George Floyd wouldn't admit that he took drugs, that he ate drugs, because he was eating the drugs so he didn't get caught with them. He was trying to eat them so he wouldn't get caught with them. And who killed George Floyd was that one black dude who wouldn't testify on himself. Pled the fifth. That's who killed George Floyd. That guy. The guy with the dreads, and he was supposed to be their friend. He was George Floyd's drug dealer. That's who killed George Floyd. He's the one who sold him the fentanyl, I believe. That's why he pled the fifth and wouldn't tell some of the stuff he told, because it would incriminate him. That's why I seen a thing where it said he was scared they was going to charge him with George Floyd's murder, because he's the one who really killed him. He's the one that sold him the drug. Actually, he didn't kill George Floyd either. George Floyd killed his fucking self for taking fentanyl. That's George Floyd's fucking fault. If he hadn't have been fucking being stupid and passing off counterfeit money, they wouldn't have fucked with him. You know, maybe if you don't fuck around and do stupid shit, the cops don't come. How about that? But see, too many people in America is pussy and weak and cowards and chicken shit. A lot of these people need to be. We need to go back to like old barbarian ways where you could just like have a duel and kill people, or just beat the shit out of somebody in public and just stomp them out. Toughen some fucking people up. Teach them responsibility for what they do. Responsibility for your actions. I think then a lot of people would shut the fuck up. We've let women ruin our society. A lot of these feminists, we let all these feminists destroy our society. That's what the problem is. All these feminists, all these weak pussy men, all this shit. They've destroyed our society. Made it a society of pussies. Let a lot of these guys haven't want to, get these women pregnant. Don't want to deal with the fucking women because they're too fucking stupid and bitches to deal with, so they just run off and leave their kids, and then the woman raises the boy like a little pussy girl, and then he grows up being a fucking pussy like his mom, being a pussy stupid bitch just like his mama. But anyways, that's my 2 cents on it. That dude who's like, oh, Derek Chauvin had his knee on George Floyd's neck, I would have killed him. First of all, that dude don't know fucking physiology or fucking anatomy. Back of your neck is where your spine is. That's a bone right there. Your shoulder bone's right here, right below your neck, and your collarbone too. Dude, that's not going to choke you. Apparently, like I said, too many of these guys are pussies, ain't never wrestled, never wrestled in school, never did any kind of martial arts, never did anything. I've had people stand on my fucking back right there on my neck. Actually, my aunt did that. She stood on my back with one leg to try to pop my shoulder blades before, and it was uncomfortable, and it was kind of very uncomfortable, but I could still breathe. There was pressure on me, but I could breathe fine. And it was about right in that same area to try to pop my back and my shoulder blades up there on top. But anyways, that's all I gotta say. See y'all. Try to be decent people and try to take care of people. Alright, see you later.